here. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this today. I'm Melissa Keenan. I'm CEO and owner at Coaching with Melissa Keenan. I have created this Facebook group. Hey, Andrea. And I love to help women and couples experience and create the intimacy of their dreams. And that spans all areas of our life, our marriage, yes, our business, yes, our family, our relationships, all of it. And any of you who know me personally, probably some of you even in here are like, what? You're like making people mad with your I'm Mormon, like I'm super modest. I'm like the epitome of like fuddy-duddy, I think, and giggly, and maybe the opposite of what you might think of as culturally sexy. And yet I believe in sexy for women. So let's break this down. Let's talk about it. If you're watching today, let me know where you're watching from. I love to hear who's on here and who's watching, and get into this conversation with me. If you have questions about this, or if you're like, wait, I don't understand what you're trying to say, Melissa, or I disagree, or whatever, like, let's have a conversation. Put your stuff in the comments, and so that we can break this down, and so that we can find some healing and deeper fulfillment. So here's what I see, and here's why this is so important. When we are closed off to sexy, we put up an energetic barrier around ourselves, in our pelvic floor. Andrea's here, and so I'm like, she's reminding me, we put up these energetic barriers all over us. If sexy is bad, then guess what? It's going to affect your intimacy. Bottom line. So I get, and you guys, some of you who've been here for a long time, you know my story, you know that I have been through the depths with this thing. I have been in these places where just the word sexy was a trigger word for me. I couldn't handle it. I've been in places where sex has hurt me tremendously. I have been used and abused, and I come from these places. So I am not speaking to you from somebody who's just been living in a bubble and thinks that, like, oh, there's no harm in, sex appeal or whatever. I'm not that person. I have done deep, intense inner work to get to the place where I'm at now, and it has benefited my life tremendously. Because again, when I was closed off, when I was believing that everybody was attacking me and my sacredness, and I believed all I could do was protect myself and guard up and hold my breath and hope that nobody would offend me, or that nobody else would come in and hurt me. When I lived in that way, I also approached my husband that way. I also approached my own orgasms that way. It was like, all of it is scary. All of it is something to be avoided. Can you guys see how related this is? And then, when you're living like this, you're so closed up, you're so afraid, you're so shut down, whether it's due to trauma you've experienced or just the trauma of our society around sex, then it affects every aspect of our lives. Okay, so let me really break this down and show you how this also affects your business. Okay, we have a chakral system. In our chakras, the second chakra from the bottom is our sacral chakra. In that chakra, this is an energy system that has existed for, thousands of years or something, like way back. And in our sacral chakra, it is believed that that is where the energy of two things is held. And this makes total sense, right? This is our womb space. So this is where creativity is, and this is also where sexual energy is. This is where all of our hormones are produced and interacting with our body. All of our sexual organs are there. All of our sexual hormones are there. All of our pleasure, it's all in this area, right? You can't see, I don't think you can see, but it is just below. Hold on, I've got like too many screens open. I can't even tell what you guys can see of me. Here we go. It's just below your belly button, and then, just like above your pubic bone area, and then just below that is your root chakra. So in your sacral chakra space, you have I've got more windows popping up. You have this beautiful blend of sexual and creative energy. Guess where we do business from? Our creative energy. So there's this energy center where money and sex are all intertwined and can be a tangled up, wadded up, horrifying mess, or can be a beautiful flow, yin and yang, just flowing and working with the two. And you can see in society, if this is true, does it not make sense to you why this is so under attack and why money and sex, like putting those two together, is a trigger for people because it has been corrupted, it has been misused, that connection has been, just made horrible, made so ugly and dark, and caused so much pain. And so we get the opportunity, you get the opportunity right now, sitting here listening to me, to decide, am I going to continue to perpetuate these stories of darkness and yuck and being used and, the hurt and the pain, or am I going to start to plant seeds or even deepen my seeds of a new belief, which is that sex and money can coexist in a beautiful relationship and it's all good. Okay, so you get to decide. I'd love to hear in the comments, what do you decide? Are you going to be somebody who stands up for your true sexuality, your true sexy? Are you going to be that person, or does it just hurt too much? I mean, that's what I have to conclude. As so many women, will reach out to me or comment to my posts and things out in Facebook land, with these messages of like, you're disgusting. What's wrong with you? I can't believe you would post something like this. Like, don't you know you could get sued for talking about bringing sex into business, and all these things that they just don't understand, and they're hurt. And as women, we will cling to our hurts until we recognize it's safe to come out of that space. And I'm here to tell you there is a beautiful path where we redefine our sexiness. We redefine what sex means to us. We redefine the whole thing. We reclaim our bodies, and it is safe, and we can be safe. Whew, can you feel my soapbox here? I would love to hear again in the comments. Share with me what your guys' thoughts are. Just checking out here. Oh, hi, Mary Beth. Hi, thanks for watching. Okay. So what is true sexy then? If sexy, let's talk about what it's not. I'd love to hear in the comments. What do you think society defines as true sexy? As sexy. What does society define as sexy? It's how you look. It's having bigger boobs than your waist. It's having a smaller waist than your hips. It's like trigger central. It's what is sexy? It's lingerie. It's wearing as little clothes as possible. It's caring more about your appearance than anything else. It's also like being able to orgasm at the drop of a hat. It's being able to being turned on all the time. It's it is magnetism. It is what else do we hear out there? Like, these are the things. And so we are constantly measuring our bodies and our external self based on these standards, and do I measure up to these standards or not? And oh yay, hi Brittany. Oh hi Jackie. Yeah. Right, exactly. That's not our job. Like, we are not actually built to orgasm quickly. That's very rare for women. And so we're fed all this crap, right? And then you add to that the next layer, which isn't really pushed by media per se, more like by the fact that media is pushing how important sexy is in these external factors. Then we add this layer of how that adds trauma and pain to everything to do with sex, right? So then it's like, well, sexy also means dangerous. Sexy means I'm not protecting myself. Sexy means I'm sending out false messages. Sexy means I'm being manipulative with my like feminine powers. Sexy means that maybe I'm not safe. I literally had more than one person say to me, if I brought sexy into my business, that's a recipe for murder. That's a recipe for rape. That's one person even, I don't know, maybe they were just a little bit different, but that's a recipe for me to end up with my throat slit in a closet somewhere. And the thing that it didn't surprise me that these were some of the things that people were saying, because this is what we are being fed constantly. Can you see why so many women would feel closed off, even in that safety of your marriage? Where you're constantly questioning your husband, or you're constantly questioning his intentions, or or you're just shut down in general. Like, he's a good guy, but I have no desire for sex. Yeah, because since you were young, you've been told that it was dangerous. Because it has been. Those things have happened. It's legitimate. That is going on in our world. So what do we do as women? How do we take a stand and reclaim our true sexy? And what is that? What is that true sexy? So now I'd love to hear in the comments. Right, our sexy is equal to sex. That's also true. And it's not, Shakina, exactly. Me to be in my sexy doesn't mean I'm walking around like doing anything inappropriate. It has nothing to do with that. But it's slightly reminiscent, and I'll explain how. So do you guys know that place in sex that you get to that place where you feel totally free? You finally let down all your walls and you feel totally free, and you're open and you're just exploring. You're maybe in adventure. Maybe there's some laughter going on or some intense passion. And it's like you have finally opened up your heart enough to just be fully present with sex with your partner. If you don't know that place, I'm telling you, this exists and it's very beautiful, and you should definitely try to open your heart enough to get to this place. So in that place, if you do know what I'm talking about, think about who you are being in that place, how you feel. You're like alive to sensation. You're very aware of pleasure. You're very aware of like the give and receive, the exchange. You're open, you're magnetic, you're drawing him in. And that state, I mean, why did God give us these bodies? And why did he allow us to have like such a little piece of heaven on earth? Like, wow, it's amazing, right? Why has that been a part of the universe's design for us as humans? It's because it helps us remember who we really are. Before all the hurt, before all the trauma, before all the things that bombarded us and told us who we were, we get to remember who we really are. And it's that essence, it's that vibration, it's that energy space. If we can tap into that energy space, even when it has nothing to do with sex, the actual act of sex. Can you imagine? Think about how you would respond to your husband on a day-to-day basis if you were from that space. Hello, Radiant Goddess. Think about how you would be interacting with clients or potential clients if you were just from that open, free space. You're going to get more clients. You're going to get more money. You're going to have more success. You're going to create more possibilities, more opportunities. Your creativity is going to open and explode out the door. So wherever you're at with this, there's a deeper level. There's always a deeper level. I just posted on Facebook yesterday. There is no such thing as arrived until we die. If you've arrived, you're dead. Okay, there's a deeper level here for you. It's about confidence. It's about your radiance. It's about knowing who you are, loving who you are, opening your heart, being open to receiving. There's a lot of parts and pieces. And I get why when I say, you know, a simple question like, how are you bringing your sexy into your business this week? I get why that's triggering people. And I love that it caused so much discussion, because what that says to me is women are definitely thinking about this. We haven't taken it to that next level, right? Like we're evolving as a society past, like, I just have to believe the commercials. I just have to believe porn. I have to believe, you know, that I'm not enough and fix my body and stuff. I think that as a society, we're evolving past that. Thank heavens, because we're so much more than a body. We're so much more than just sex appeal or like appeasing the patriarchy and men and whatever, right? But then we get stuck like a hard rock in this place of like hurt and guarded, and I don't need anybody, and I'm shut down and I'm closed off. And, you know, and in my whole sacral space and my whole pelvic floor, my whole vaginal space, I'm shut down, I'm closed off. I don't even, you know, I can't even associate with pleasure. I feel guilty every time I orgasm, right? We end up with these things that were created by something that was good. It's like, let's question the narrative. Absolutely. But then let's keep going. You don't have to stay stuck in this place. Whatever level you're at with this, you don't have to stay stuck there. You can move beyond that and move into this open, beautiful space where you get to define what your sexy is. And why am I calling it sexy? So many people were like, just call it passion, call it confidence, call it radiance. Why didn't you just call it something else? No, because that defeats the point. The point is when you're in that radiance, confidence, that magnetic space, you are more sexy to your husband. You are sexy when you're like that. Can you guys feel that from me right now? I am in this space right now. And if you were wondering, how does that look? I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic. I love myself. I love my body. I love you guys. I feel a connection here in this group. I care about you. I care about me. I'm open and receiving. I'm in the flow, and I'm just sharing what's on my heart. And this is my sexy. My husband friggin' loves it. He loves it. We were on a sales call last night together, and he's looking at me, and all of a sudden I could just feel, it was crazy. I don't often feel energy this strong, but I could feel his energy of like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. I love her so much. And he wasn't saying a word. He just started smiling, and I could just feel it as if it was like just pouring out of him. And I was like, oh my gosh. Just because I'm showing up as me, fully me. Here I am. That's your sexy. So what is your sexy? Who are you when you're in that space? Do you know that space? If you can't anchor into like what I was saying about, you know, being in that deep, you know, surrendered place in sex, figure out what your anchor is. What was that time when you felt so alive? Another like image that comes to mind right away is Leonardo DiCaprio on the front of the Titanic. King of the world, right? Like you just feel so alive and expansive. Why do we get to have those moments? It's because God wants us, the universe wants us to anchor into those moments. Those are reminders for us to remember who we are. So figure out what your moment is that you can anchor into. This is your tool. And then go back to it over and over. Go back to it before you get on a sales call. Go back to it when you know your husband's on his way home and you want to connect, but you just can't seem to figure it out. Go back to that moment, anchor into those moments, because that is who you really are. And just practicing, you know, stepping back into that, re-embodying that more and more and more, you're going to create more and more of those experiences so that you're living in the vibration of who you really are. Am I perfect at this? Absolutely not. You know, if you followed me long enough, you know that I definitely have times where my husband comes to me and he wants to have sex, and I'm like my heart wants to now. I've healed past all the, like, you know, stuff about patriarchy. My husband is not the patriarchy. He's a wonderful man, and I want to connect with him, and I love him. But there's still times when, like, due to stress, or I let myself get too, you know, zoomed in on my business, or I let myself get too stressed out or too overwhelmed by the details or whatever, that I don't feel connected to that. And so I get to do the practice too. Guess what? We're all human. So again, there's no arrived. I still struggle with this too, and I'm still working on it, but we have tools and we don't have to stay stuck in that place for 40 years. I mean, I can't tell you how many women I've talked to who literally will say to me, I would be okay if I never had sex again in my life. And to you, I say, I empathize with you, because it's a sad and it's a lonely space. It is. And maybe you don't realize it right now. Maybe you've disconnected so much from that part of you that you don't feel that anymore. You don't even remember what that was like, or you don't even know really what's possible there. I empathize with you in that, because your sexy is your sacred gift. God gave you the pleasure organ. God gave you the ability to have all these hormones and have this pleasure and have these experiences. And I want you to have that. And if you want you to have that and you feel stuck and you don't know how to move forward, then get on the phone with me. I'll place my link into the comments, and I would love to talk with you and just help you identify what is that next step? What is that next piece that's going to bust you through to the next level? And I typically work with women who are in business, women who are high level, who are high profile, who are big leaders, know what you want to create in the world, and you know that this deeper level of intimacy is going to push you into your next level. Or shall I say, draw you into your next level, magnetize you into your next level. And if that is you and you know what you want, absolutely book a call with me. Let's talk. Let's break it down and see what really your next level is all about. I've loved sharing this space. I hope I haven't been too soapboxy, but man, I am telling you, after putting up with like 500 comments of fire this week about this, I'm passionate about this. And I feel connected to divine. I feel connected to my heavenly parents and to the earth and to all that is good and all that matters. And this message matters, you guys. Your sexy matters. So if you know what, if I'm on a soapbox, I'm not going to say sorry. I love you all, and I would love to hear from you. So let's chat. Take care.